getting...
You can't always.
This is the death
Remarkably empty.
Turn back. Towards God. Rise up.
Whether it's my primary school pizza lunch, my Friday night youth group, my weekly young adult catch up, I could always go for at least one more slice of pizza. As a young fella, there were so many places I went to fill my hunger for more. Most places I found left me feeling emptier than ever. Cheese pizza with anchovies, here we go. Hey, look at that, let's rip in. But it was there at youth group with some ordinary people who weren't much older than me, who shared a laugh with me, shared a pizza with me, and shared their faith with me.
God can't be more present to you than he is now, and praying more urgently won't do anything. Like, you just need to shut up and just be still.
So you know what? That's what we're gonna do. We ain't theologians, we ain't apologists, we're just a couple of mates hanging out on a couch.
I'm gonna go for one of these.
Lovely. Well, eating some pizza and talking about what God is doing in our lives. Fun fact, whenever I order a pizza or anything, I always order under the name of Batman. Here on Another Slice of Pizza this week, talking to us about how to order your pizza, how to communicate effectively, is Chelsea. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm so good.
You hungry?
I'm starving.
Now, when you get a pizza, what is your go-to order?
You know, my secret love is a cheese pizza with anchovies.
I'm not a big fan of the
No one
anchovies,
is.
but you know what? We'll give it a go. Actually, when I ordered the pizza, I was like, this is a weird order, and the guy said it's not a weird order. So there's some even weird orders.
There are friends out there.
All right, cheese pizza with anchovies. Here we go. Hey, look at that.
my
Let's rip
gosh.
in. We'll say quick grace, eh? Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. God, thank you for this meal. Thank you for this conversation we're about to have. I just pray that you would bless this time and help us to communicate effectively. Amen. Son, Holy Spirit. Let's do it.
Thank you. I'm so pleased.
All right, I'm going to try something new, and here we go. This is going to be fun. Anchovies.
You know,
what do you know?
My favourite thing with anchovies and pizza is actually Tabasco sauce as well, which I keep in my pocket.
How long have you had that in your pocket?
About a year. Now's its time to shine.
Can I have
a little bit?
I'll have a bite first without it.
Tabasco. Gotta get some
Salty.
kick. Okay, that was a bit much, but it's all right. Yum.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, but that's okay.
It's good. It's good.
Yep, it's great.
It's good, right? You like it, right?
That's water.
Yes, please.
So Chelsea, what do? You're working at NET, yeah?
I work for NET Ministries Australia part-time. What I do for NET is I'm part of the creative communication team. So it's everything from social media, Facebook, different marketing stuff, different design stuff. It's really hands-on and creative, and I really love what I do there.
So you're involved in communication even with NET. And you study a little bit of communication sort of stuff with your...
So I am almost finishing my degree. This is my last semester.
Yeah, congratulations. I still have forever to go.
It's been forever, Zach. But so I study Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Social Science at the University of Queensland. And I'm working towards an extended major in linguistics and a major in development.
And we've worked together for a little bit. This is our second year working together, which is fun. I feel like we've had some good chats. I feel like I've learned a lot from you. I've been pushed out of my comfort zone by you. It's been really good. I feel like, and this is what we're here to talk about today, that you've really, I guess, our communication styles. You know, you're one of those people that I can talk to and I don't even have to finish my sentences. You just get it. You know, there's people in your life that you can talk to and you kind of say, you know what I'm talking about by the thing on the thing, and they're like, I know exactly what you're talking about, the thing. You're the person who knows what the thing on the thing is. So thank you for getting what I say in my half sentences.
You know what? Thank you for speaking them first.
That's cool. So I guess communication is a fun one. Have you ever had a hard time trying to order a pizza? Have you been in another country trying to order food or maybe you've been in Australia and you've tried to like order something and had a hard time?
Yeah, all the time. I feel like, however, when the times that I've had trouble ordering what I wanted to order is usually always because I don't know what I want to order yet.
Okay.
Like,
When you know, you're set. You're pretty good.
yeah, and I actually have this really funny memory. And I think about it almost every single time I go through the Macca's drive-through. So back when we were kids and my mum would order us Happy Meals, you know, because you're a kid and the Happy Meal is the thing you get. And you
Yeah,
get
toy. And
cheeseburger.
I didn't get them
fries,
much. I was like straight up to like the Big Mac meals.
Wow,
I was a big boy.
I've like never had a Big Mac in my life.
We should fix that.
I know, because I'm a cheeseburger girl. Anyway,
Okay.
so like, you know, the best thing about the Happy Meal is the toy, right? And so we go through the drive-through and the lady in the intercom who would be taking our order would say, you know, what kind of toy would you like? And without fail, my mum would always say, the boy one, please. And so little Chelsea is so confused and definitely always wanted the girl toy. And I would ask my mum, why do we always get the boy one? She just looks at me and she's like, Chelsea, I can't say girl properly without the people not being able to understand what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Right? And so I feel like there have been so many times when, like, you know, I've been able to know what I want to order, but just like haven't been able to communicate it properly. But I think about this all the time. Like, it was like a phonological impairment that my mum had. You know?
Define phonological.
Oh, it was just a problem with the sounds. Like, she
Okay,
could say
yeah.
it. She knew what girl wanted. She knew what she wanted, but she just couldn't say it properly. And I just think, like, she probably could have just tried a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like the times for me when I haven't been able to order something even though I want it, like, the thing stopping me is actually, like, my fear of just being judged in that
Yeah.
moment rather than,
Oh my gosh.
you know, like, rather than actually not knowing what I want or not having, the courage
Yeah.
to persist.
Do you feel like most people in society, or most people that you know, are effective communicators or are comfortable communicating exactly how they're feeling?
I don't think so. I feel like, throughout my life, it hasn't been that way. And I feel like we, as people, are really good at talking, you know, but
Not
less
listening?
good at, like, just communicating.
Yeah. Which is funny because we have so many different ways. Like we have like social media, we have texting, calling, Facebook, Instagram, direct messaging. I think I just said two things the same twice, but you get my point.
There's so many different ways of
Yeah.
doing them. There's so many different channels. And it's like, we've got more channels, but has it improved the quality of our communication or just given us more ways to be, like, surface level in them, which is interesting. But so I feel like it's taken me a really long time to actually be effective at communicating. I think in high school, I would be on MSN a lot. You know, like a lot of my
Back in the
communication
day.
was just online. And
Yeah.
it's like, how much could I understand or actually listen and, you know, receive from that conversation? It's like, probably not that much,
No.
you know?
And even then, like messaging is so hard because you can't hear the tone behind it. When you're messaging someone, you just can't hear what tone of voice they have or like what it means. Like you can spend 5 minutes trying to interpret what that message means. Or like my parents like use full stops a lot. And as a young person, a full stop is like, I'm mad at you.
I'm angry.
But for them, it's just like, that's just the way that they type.
The end of the
And
sentence.
so I'm
It's
like,
grammatically correct.
Mum, are you mad at me? She's like, no, I'm just put a...
My mum sends K, which
And K is a short answer.
K is, you know, you've done something wrong and you're in trouble. But Mum's just like, it's just okay, which is interesting, hey?
Yeah, it's funny. Have you ever had any experiences where you've like been confronted with the ways that people communicate differently? Maybe even on your experience on team?
Yeah, absolutely. So I served on a NET team in 2018. Yeah, I think
That was with my best man, Luke Daly.
Luke Daly.
The man.
God bless you, Luke. So actually probably the first time someone on my team approached me and essentially just decided to have a conversation with me about a way that I'd been hurting them. And it was, when I think back to it, it's actually such a beautiful way and it was modeled so wonderfully to me. Like just how this person came and was really honest and vulnerable and shared like, you know, this is how I feel about this. And I just want to let you in on that. And I want to understand, like, do you know that this is what you do? And how it impacts me. Yeah. And I remember like sitting in that conversation and feeling like amazed that this person could do that, because I'm someone that does not like to wear my heart on my sleeve, you know, and I was just so impressed. But at the same time, I think everything inside of me wanted to like deflect. No, deflect. Because I'd found out that I'd hurt this person, and I didn't want to fight back. I just wanted to be like, oh, okay, sorry, goodbye, and not actually like talk about it. Yeah, I wanted to flee. I was like, I feel bad and guilty, and now I just want to like shut this down.
Never look at me ever again.
Yeah, and it was a really good insight into myself and how that was my reaction. It was a flight reaction. I just wanted to leave.
I think I'm the opposite. I'm kind of like a fighter. It's like, how dare you say that to me?
No, but even when you're in the wrong, even when you know you're in the wrong.
Oh, sometimes. I definitely grew a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can kind of, it depends.
Yeah.
I still growing, I reckon. So, bit of humility, Lord, mercy me.
But I think it was just a really good first experience of being like, oh, this person is able to own how they feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think another experience that comes to mind when I think about conflict, and just trying to communicate something to someone of a different way of communication is another person on team when we were just butting heads. We were arguing, and it came to this fight. It was actually a fight where we were both upset at each other. And I'm the kind of person that in that situation when, you know, not so much someone has come to me about a wrong that I've done, but, you know, we're arguing about something that's kind of free for all.
You're both kind of in the wrong.
We're both in the wrong because we're fighting with each other and shouting at each other. It was 11 p.m. and, you know, we'd been arguing for the most part of the afternoon, and it just come to this culmination at night. And every part of me was like, all right, we've got an issue. Let's sort it. Let's sit down and sort it out now. You know, no nonsense. Let's just talk about it. I don't care if you cry. I'm probably going to cry. And this person was just like, nah, Chelsea, what I need right now is I need some space to process this on my own, and I need some time. We can talk about it tomorrow morning. And I like fought that for a good while until I realized like, oh, okay, you know, Chelsea, if you actually want to seek understanding and seek peace with this relationship and in this person, you know, actually the right thing to do is to understand that they actually need a different way of resolving this conflict, of communicating, which was, you know, a difficult lesson, but also, you know, upon retrospect, a much better thing to do.
You need to learn. Yeah, it is. Give time, blow off some steam, come back, understand.
Yeah, I think because I'm an external processor, I always think that everyone's an external processor.
Yeah, same.
Like, you just need to speak it out with me right now. And it's like, no, some people like to take their own time and reflect and, realize what's going on for them instead of charging in emotionally.
Something that I think about when we're talking about this issue of communication is something Patrick Lencioni said in his 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. You know, he's speaking about, as Christians, we feel like we need to be nice, you know? Like you be in a meeting and they're talking about ideas and they're throwing ideas around and someone puts forward the worst idea ever. Like it's just outrageous. You would never
Balloon
do it.
Animals.
At a cactus farm. Right. It's just dumb. And so they put it forward, the idea, and they're like, yeah, that's good. We'll put that on the agenda for next week. Yeah, for sure. And then they just go about their business. And then later on in the car park, they're like, did you hear the idea that Terry put forward? That's the most horrible idea. We're not doing that, right? And then you're kind of like, that doesn't make any sense, you know? Why do we feel like we need to be nice to them in person, but we can gossip about them behind their back? Do you see this happening much?
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I feel like, well, like what you've said is that, you know, this idea of being nice is just a very hollow idea of being nice. So what I think is that, I actually can't think of an example where this has happened in my recent past, but I can say that there have been times when, you know, ideas have been thrown out into the area, and in my like own mind or in my heart, I've been like, that is a bad idea, you know? So I think, you know.
So take the gossip aside, maybe.
Okay.
Like that's a pretty. I think Patrick's trying to make an extreme point,
right.
But like as you said, like we can sort of think it in our hearts and not say anything about it. So do you think not saying anything is being unloving? Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's like not saying anything. If your intention is actually to love this person,
Yeah.
then it's actually better to do difficult things, to
Yeah.
have awkward conversations,
Yeah.
to go into that messy area. I think,
And come out the other side. Like
come out the
wrestle
other
through
side.
it.
Because the creative process is always it's a process of reshaping and modeling and going from one thing and then changing it into something completely different and coming
Yes.
to a middle ground.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to find that balance of like what is actually loving, because saying nothing is unloving, but like telling them that their idea is stupid is also unloving.
Right.
And I think of that verse from Corinthians, if I can speak of the words of men or angelic, but if I speak without love, then I'm nothing more than a gong booming or a cymbal clashing. But it's like, how do I actually speak with love? How do I like will the good of the other in this situation? Do you have any tips for like trying to find that balance?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the first thing would definitely never to tell anyone that their idea is stupid. No ideas are stupid. They
point.
just have different like situations and contexts where they suit where they're necessary. Like if we were going for like an ironic party, the balloon
In a cactus
in a
farm would
cactus
be a
farm
good
would
idea.
be, yeah, a great idea. Or in the ideas of bad ideas. It
Yes.
belongs there. And I
Yeah.
think to tell someone that their idea is stupid, especially in a meeting with other people, is just probably one of the cruelest things you can do to someone, and they're never going to want to speak up again.
No.
And it just really
Removes every inch of trust that there is there.
exactly. And especially in when you put forth an idea, that's vulnerable. It's raw to put something forth that you've thought of. And so, it's really important to empower someone and to encourage them. And you can do that by affirming them for their participation. I don't know how many, meetings or maybe even tutorials that you've been to where the lecturer or the, person in charge asks a question and no one speaks.
Yeah.
Like
it's the
so
worst.
many.
I hope. Yeah.
So many. And I think it's worth even just acknowledging and affirming someone who puts up their hand to say something,
Yeah.
whether or not it's a bad or good idea. So I think just affirming the person. And then, loving them would be to, give it a shot or like a chance in the sense
Yeah.
that, give the person a chance.
Don't do the silly
You
idea.
don't have to
but-
do the thing. But like, if it means talking to them aside and, extrapolating on the idea, like, it could be an idea that just needs some,
escalates into a really good one.
yeah, just with teamwork and just conversation, more brains in it. I feel like our brains are really messy. And, what we're thinking
Yeah.
of, our idea and our vision for something can never actually just come out the way that we
And
think it.
especially if, like you said, you're an external processor. Like for
right.
me to get to a solid conclusion, it goes on a wild journey.
Right? I've been watching a show about people, and there's this guy who can mind read, right? And I just feel like our minds are so messy. And if someone were to read my mind right now, they wouldn't be able to get just like a sentence very clearly as if I've spoken it. I feel like we think and we vision cast and we have so many ideas of things that are just unformed. And to assume that someone can just submit an idea that's fully formed, I think is really unfair as well. And so I think it's always just a process of dialogue and drafting and so that's why I would say that it's really important to encourage and empower someone's ideas, even if it doesn't seem like it fits in the right context at
Take
the
the
time.
time to chew it through and see
Yeah.
what comes of it. It sounds like there's a bit of a difference between, I guess, active listening and passive listening. Like to communicate effectively and to listen effectively means like you got to actually like take someone's idea, like encourage the person who's speaking, and to like take time to wrestle through what they've said and like actually seek understanding. But as someone who's like speaking or someone who's like trying to get an idea across, like what's some things you should keep in mind, you reckon?
Yeah, I think the key things when you want to communicate something to someone is to firstly know what it is that you're communicating. Like,
Yeah, no one wants to start communicating a half order.
yeah, and I mean the thing is, you can communicate that you want to come to a point.
And that you don't know where you're at.
Yeah, right.
You can start, but if you're in that moment and you're like, I just don't know what I think, and I like the person you were talking to, I need time to talk about this, you can say that.
Exactly, and that's communicating. It doesn't mean you have to like shut off or not, like just expressing where you are and knowing where you are when you begin that process of
Dialogue.
communication, of that dialogue is so important, because the amount of times when I've been in communications or fights or like, you know, conversations.
You got 2 sisters, haven't you?
Yeah, man, let me tell you, there are so many times where I'm fighting and then halfway through it, I'm like, why is this happening? Like, I'm fine right now. I think I'm just yelling because it's habit now, you know? And it's so easy to disengage from, you know, highly emotional situations when we actually figure out, okay,
what are we actually fighting?
What are you feeling and what am I feeling? And actually getting to a place of communication. And I think secondly is knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking to, okay, so say you were ordering pizza and you were trying to order it from your Uber Eats delivery guy, like he wouldn't be able to actually, he's just the transportation, you know?
You can't order a pizza
You have to
from him.
order it from the guy at the pizza shop.
Yes.
You can't just, you know, order it from the guy who's in between. So you have to know who you're talking to.
And actually talking to that person. Like,
Exactly.
It's the whole thing of gossip. Don't talk about the thing to your friend who can't do anything about the situation. Like, go and talk to the actual person about it. That's why gossip is so silly. It doesn't get anything done. It just makes the other person look bad.
Yeah.
Of something that could be a miscommunication.
Makes you look bad too.
Yeah. No one likes a gossiper. No one likes a gossiper. Thanks for that, Chelsea. Do you have any encouragement for our viewers to like communicate better this effectively, so to get what they want when they order their pizza?
Yeah, totally. Communication is messy and everyone communicates differently. So it's really worth just trying to understand other people and understanding yourself. And that means, you know, taking the time to reflect on what it is you actually want to say, or taking the time to listen to what someone else has to say. It's really important.
Sweet. Well, there's your slice of pizza for the week. I hope that gives you some food for thought to have some difficult conversations maybe this week. And please join us next week for another slice of pizza. Thank you so much for joining us for another slice of pizza during this Advent season. I really hope you took away some tools to communicate effectively with your friends and your family during this sometimes chaotic time. And yeah, please join us next week for another slice of pizza. You can watch it here first on Shalom World. And if you haven't already, get on your socials and follow us, like us, subscribe, comment, share. Do whatever you can so that as many people can get around this pizza as possible. We want to share what we have during this time with people around us. We want to share what we have with everyone. Please help us out.
A lot of talk in our church today about the new evangelisation, and we might ask, well, what's new about the new evangelisation? One thing that's new is that we're trying to renew the faith in people who should already be Catholic, should already be Christian. Individuals, families, communities, whole cultures that need to rediscover the gospel. And so what's new is that they're getting a new shot in the arm of faith, of evangelisation. Another thing that's new about it is the way that we do that. And the new media and groups like Shalom World TV are very important for bringing the gospel anew to our cultures, to our families, to each of us individually. And so I encourage all the viewers of Shalom World TV, and I encourage Shalom World TV themselves to keep up the good work, to keep watching this channel and to keep up the good work of presenting the Catholic faith to our world today.